Hi, welcome back to the channel. A busy retirement with me, Georgie. As you can see, this is going to be a video from the G'day from WA section. Now I'm sorry it's taken a while to get it up, but as those of you that have been following me know, I do have issues with cataracts and it's very difficult for me. It's getting worse, it's getting harder to be able to read things on the computer. The good news is today is Tuesday. On Thursday, I'm going in for my very first surgery. I'm getting the right eye done. So fingers crossed, within about 4-6 weeks, I'm going to have great eyesight and we won't have to have this issue any longer. So anyway, the video this time is about fire bans. Now, I don't know, most of you know about fires in Australia. There's countries all over the world that have devastating fires. And the Uber driver actually asked me, what does it mean when you see a sign out on the road that's got total fire ban? So that prompted me to go through and find information. All the websites I'm using, I'm going to put links to, the important ones, the newspaper reports that I'm showing you. Yeah, if you want those links, then you can just ask me in the comments section and I'll pop the link in the comments section for you. So anyway, let's just get on with the video, otherwise I'm going to ramble a lot and it's going to take forever. Okay, so here we go. When you're out on the road, the fire risk signs that you will see are these ones here. So you've got fire risk today is, and it tells you this one here is white, so there's a light behind that indicating that at the moment the fire risk is high. And it tells you here, be ready to act. And it tells you what date that was updated. There are still some non-electronic signs. I've got a new mouse mat and it's driving me around the bend. It's I think the shelf that my mouse runs on is actually dipping from overuse. So I've got to find a spot on the mouse mat where it doesn't affect it. Anyway, let's get back to the sign. This is the non-electronic one. Now this one here, this indicator has to be moved by a volunteer. So yeah, if I had nothing else to do, I'm retired, I could sign up as a volunteer firefighter. I don't know whether just anybody in the public could be part of it, that they say, all right, well, you contact me when the fire risk changes and I'll go and change it, or whether it's somebody that does it on their way to work. Could be a volunteer that's doing it on the way to work. I don't know how that works. But these are going to be phased out anyway. They're all being taken over by the electronic one because it's quicker. As soon as they've got an idea that there's a fire risk today, or what the fire risk is, it depends on temperature, on winds, how strong winds are blowing, the environment and everything else. So you might find in my area that the fire risk is moderate, but then east of me, when you get to, there's a big pine plantation, the sign down there may say extreme. It's 40 degrees, we've got a strong, I don't know, 50-kilometre wind blowing. That's going to be devastating. So that even could be catastrophic. So that's how they work it out. So these are your signs that you will see. And the total fire ban, I'm not sure how it works on here, but on the non-electronic ones, you used to see, because they're like on a metal board, that have a big magnetic fire ban, total fire ban sticker put across like on a magnet. How these ones work, I don't know, whether they just put it down here and say at the bottom total fire ban, although your fire risk, you still need to know what the fire risk is, so you know what you need to do. And this is something that is missing on here. It says be ready to act, so I'm assuming that this is going to be the same as this. If it's catastrophic, it will say leave immediately. Now, with something like this catastrophic, if you live in a fire-prone zone, it would be wise to have all your treasures, your personal documents, legal documents, anything that you really need to have that you don't use daily, have it in a case, in a suitcase, or in a like a little travel case, depending on how much you've got, and have that ready to pick up and go. Because when it gets to extreme or catastrophic, you're not going to have time to go around and say, well, I need to get these clothes, I need to get that jewellery, I need to get my passport and whatever, photos, special photos. You will not have time. When you have to leave now, you have to leave now with the clothes on your back, that's it. So for people in fire-prone zones, when they've lived there all their lives, they understand the devastation of a fire. They know how fast it can move and how quickly the wind can change. It might be blowing away from you, and then all of a sudden the wind changes direction and it's coming at you. They understand that. They have plans in place for pets to make sure they've got what they need to get the pets out of the house quickly. If you've got livestock, they have plans in place that while there's a fire coming, we need to get these down to, they've got horse floats, they've got whatever they need to move livestock out of that area. I will show you a few videos as I'm going through on some of the fires that we've had. So a total fire ban means that you cannot do a lot of things. And I'll go through that with you now. Green flags show the things that you can do, even when there is a total fire ban. And the red flags, definitely not allowed. So with barbecues, you can still have a barbecue as long as you're using a gas or an electronic barbecue. The gas one has to have the flame enclosed. In other words, keep the lid down. Lawnmowers, electric and battery operated lawnmowers, as long as you don't use something, there's no stones or anything in your lawn that can create a spark. And of course, avoid using them on dry grass. Dry grass is the worst thing you can have. Power tools. Now, angle grinders and welders are the real issues, because they both create spark. So you really need to be using tools that are not creating a spark. Sometimes drilling, it depends on what you are drilling. You could create sparks, which could cause a fire. I'm going to go into that with one of the fires that we had a bit later on in the video. And harvesting activities, so it tells you here. I'm not going to go through it because I am struggling to actually see that in focus, complete focus. These ones I know because they're common sense to me. They're things I've always known. The red flags are open barbecues. So if you've got an open flame, no way, can't use it. So, and that's including smokers, like a Weber kettle. You have your glowing coals in there. They can often spark if fat drops on them. So you've got to be very careful that there's nothing that can create a spark. Lawn mowers, mowing with equipment powered by an internal combustion engine. Liquid fuel, spark, boom, gone. Now hot works. So of course, this includes your angle grinding, welding, gas cutting, soldering. Then campfires, of course, that would really be devastating to be out in the bush lighting a campfire on a total fire ban day. And off-road driving, I unfortunately can't focus on that either, so I'll leave that there for a little while so you can actually read through them and hopefully you've got better focus than me. There's no other way I can't add images or PDFs down in the comments, so it doesn't help. But you can actually look for these. All this information is available online, so you can actually get that poster yourself, print it off and have it handy, have it in your car, have it around your home, your shed, whatever. If you know anybody around that's using power tools when they shouldn't be, just give them a gentle reminder of what they can and cannot do. So there's some of the things that you can't do and can do on a total fire ban day. To access the DFES, or Department of Fire and Emergency Services, go to your browser, type in DFES, enter, hit your enter key, and it'll pop up here. So you can open this in a new window or open in a new tab by right clicking and selecting which one you want. I prefer to have them open in tabs because then I can always go back to that tab if there's something else I want to check on. Okay, so when you open that, it takes you to this page, which is the home page of DFES. And down here, you've got all the options of disasters: bushfires, structure fires, cyclones, storms, floods, tsunamis, not something that we see in Perth, earthquake, haven't had one. We actually have had tremors in Perth, but not an actual earthquake. I think the closest one we've had here that actually did damage was in a country town called Meekatharra. Not quite sure how far away that is, but I will look it up. That actually happened the year before we came to Perth. That happened in 1968. And then we've got hazmat. So what we're looking at today are bushfires. Now you can either use these down here, the images, or you've got an arrow here and that'll take you to the different pages as well. So what we're going to do is go down here. So I've got 15 minutes to burn. I won't go through reading all of this because you'll get bored hearing my voice. But these are all the bits of information that you can find that you might need to know information on. When is bushfire season? That's something you might need to know. And it's different times. As you can see, northern WA, which is right up the top, the Kimberley and Pilbara area, is June to October. And the southern area, which is the larger area, is between October and April. And then it gives you information on like travelling during bushfire season, what to pack in your emergency kit. So lots of information there. So even if you've lived in Perth all your life, you may not know some of this information. And of course, things change over the years. Technology changes, so you can get information quicker. They learn from past errors on how to get the fires out quickly. What they can often do, because we have a lot of natural bush areas, and of course there's a lot of tinder, dried leaves, dropped limbs from trees. That's all fuel for a fire. So if there is a natural fire, lightning strike may cause one, that is going to go right through the bush area very, very quickly. So what they do is what's called controlled burns. Now, I can do a separate one on controlled burns because that's something different again. At the moment, I just want to talk to you about bushfires, what help you need, how to access help. So this is your bushfire plans. You've got alerts and warnings. Now, for alerts and warnings, I've got that open twice. You've also got what you are not allowed to do during a total fire ban and what you are allowed to do with caution. Now this relates to the picture I showed you before with the red flags and the green flags. Now that's not actually on this page. I thought it was. I've been through it, can't find it. Where I did find it was on the DFES Facebook page. So it's got a whole heap of information here, red flags, green flags, and then there's your poster. Now you could actually print that poster off yourself, pop it on your fridge or somewhere where you can see it, so that you're always reminded what to do, what not to do. And visitors will say, oh, I wouldn't mind one of those, that's handy to have. So just check out the Department of Fire and Emergency Services WA post on Facebook. It's now Thursday morning. Unfortunately, I didn't get it all done over Tuesday and Wednesday. So the next part is an app for alerts for any fires or incidents in your area. Now, staying on your Google page or whatever browser you use, as you scroll down from the DFES, there's one here called Emergency WA Warnings and Incidents. So if you click on that, what you get is the app download page. Now, mine, of course, I use Android, so mine's Google Play. If you're on Apple, it'll be Apple Store. It's free. It's definitely well worth having. If there is an incident in your area and you've set your preferences to receive alerts, you'll get the usual little notification of a circle, red circle with a number in, to tell you how many notifications you have. Open the app on your phone or device. I tend to come straight to the computer because I get a wider view. I can see everything all at once, and you'll see why in a moment as I go through. So open the app, and this is what you see. You've got both, which gives you warnings, centres, outages, closures, incidents, hazards. You can have the map alone, which will give you a map showing you where there may be an incident. Let's say there's an incident down here. Or you can get a list. Okay, so the latest was posted 3 hours ago. It's in the city of Albany, which is down in our Great Southern, at the bottom of the state on the map. And that's not going to affect me, so I haven't got a warning on that one. These fires here, there's a bushfire advice. That's interesting. That's 30 minutes ago. This is nowhere near me, so I won't get a notification of that one. None of these are near me, thankfully. So what happens is when you've got an incident, if you click on that, and this is why I go to the computer, because I can't see the rest of this on there. So I can go to here. There's also a fire over here. If I want to have a look at that one, all right, there's a structure fire, which means there's a building somewhere in the city of Bayswater that's on fire. And let's go and have a look at this one now that I've got the map a bit wider. Okay, this is the one from, that was last updated. Okay, that was updated this morning at 10:27. This greyed out area, this is the area of the fire that has been brought under control by firefighters. The yellow area, remembering on your fire risk indicators. The yellow is it's an advice warning. You don't have to do anything as yet. So let's go and have a look. I don't think that one's actually listed. Oh, okay, there it is. This mouse pad is annoying me. Okay, so here's the notification that went up at 10:27. It's in the bushfire advice is in place for people in the area bound by that whole yellow. There's no threat to life or homes. And then it tells you what to do if you're driving, what to do. So it's definitely worth having that app. Even if you're out on the road and an alert comes through, at least it gives you an idea of something, of what you need to do. And if you're at home and you hear and you get notification, you can go onto your computer or laptop or tablet, whatever, get more information. So that's definitely well worth downloading as far as I'm concerned. Everybody needs to be aware of what's happening in the vicinity. Now I'm actually going to go through and show you a few reports that we've had on fires. There was one in 2011 that was a really bad one. Let me go through here. This one's actually Nature's Fury. This is the RAC, which Royal Automobile Club. This is their magazine called Horizons. This comes out, I think it's a monthly magazine. So, and this one here goes through and it shows you the Meckering earthquake. That was the one in 1968. So it might actually tell you here how far. There's only 600 residents in the town. It was the Queen's birthday public holiday. It was a powerful magnitude 6.9 earthquake. Now, I don't know if it tells you how far from Perth this is. I will have a look and see. But the tremors were felt in Perth. Cracks appeared in buildings and roads. And it actually was felt in quite a large area. Albany, Esperance, York and Northern were quite close to Meckering. So they actually did sustain some damage. And the population today is, well, hang on, when was this written? May 2024. So the population today is only 250. The fault line is still visible. I remember we did go out for a drive there not long after we came out here in 69, and we'd heard about it. So Dad decided one of our weekend adventures would be to go for a drive. And yeah, it was quite eerie actually, seeing that fault line. Then we had Cyclone Alby in 1978. It was anything but a typical cyclone. It went through this, it began as a seasonal cyclone in the north, and then it turned and became a monster. And it blew part of southern WA, including Perth, and tragically resulted in the loss of 5 lives. So that's worth reading. I'll actually put a link to this page down in the description, so if you're interested in going and having a look, you can. Gracetown Cliff Collapse. That's not a good one to get your tongue around. 1996. As the whole cliff went down from the sand dunes, went down into the water. Perth hailstorm, 22nd of March 2010. I was actually stuck in that. I might actually do a video on that one, show the pictures of my car and tell you the story of it. That was a harrowing, worst thing I've ever lived through. Honestly, it was horrible. I've actually got the t-shirt. I'll show you the t-shirt. Then the Waroona Yarloop bushfires in 2016. This one was absolutely devastating. The whole town of Yarloop was all but destroyed. It was, yeah, it was just awful. And then the 20th of March 1999, we had floods in Moora. That's sort of, yeah, north of Perth. You can look these places up on a map. Just go to your Google Maps. So from a population of just over 2,600, around 1,000 people were evacuated. So there was a large area that was flooded out. We've had quite a few floods. They do make the news, but haven't made the horizons. There might be another magazine somewhere that's got it in, but these are just the ones I found, mainly because I was looking for the fires. So even here it still shows you Cyclone Vance, Dwellingup bushfires in 1961. And then they've got related stories. So that was, you have to excuse me itching my nose. So worth reading, having a look through, see what's happened. And yeah, you might be able to go and find more news stories about it. Now, one of the fires that we had, this one here, this was in 2011, February 2011. Now, one spark caused a fire, and this was actually from an angle grinder. Uncle Bob was retired, actually in his shed, thought he was safe in his shed. He lived in the hills, very dry. February's very dry up in the hills. You know, we often get above 40 degrees Celsius temperatures. So it's very dry. And if clearing hasn't been done, there's going to be a lot of tinder on what we call the forest floor. And Uncle Bob was angle grinding, and a spark flew out of his shed, hit the dry grass, boom, that was it. 72 homes destroyed. It was a very scary time. Now, I don't know if this one shows you the map. It doesn't, but this one here's the map of the whole area. It shows you there the fire was started by accident via sparks from an angle grinder. And this is the whole area, all this red, that was burnt. That was really, really scary. And then this one, I'll put a link to these pages so you can actually go through and read the whole story. This was in February 2023. Another Hills bushfire that 59 homes were lost in this one. As you can see, it's 1 minute 50 seconds. I might just show you a little bit of what it looks like. There's no sound to this video, but can you imagine living near that? They're getting their horses out. Hopefully they've got enough time to get them out and out to safety, because all it needs is for that wind to change and the fire's on you before you know it. Okay, I'll leave that one there. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can go and have a look at this page. But what I want to show you, here's the helicopters that put fires out, or helped put fires out. This is the picture that was on my thumbnail. This is how close these poor guys have to get to try and get these fires out. That was our Premier at the time. There was 2 emergencies that day. The wind was hampering. Now this is the one I want to show you. because the changing weather conditions this morning with a changing wind direction is putting pressure on the southern flank of the fire. Now this one does have sound, so I'm going to be quiet so you can hear these guys. These guys are in a fire truck trying to get out of the fire. It's not a very long one. I think it's just under, was it 52 seconds, so just under a minute. So, but listen to their voices, see if you can hear. Even though they're used to these fires, it's still scary, and you can hear it in their voices. Let's go.
Watch out, vehicle! Follow that white line, mate, and see what we can push through. Watch out, yep, follow that line. There you go, follow that. Me? Remember, we got no water protection. You've got the D.O. Darling Range right in front of us, mate. No, park in the middle of the road, guys! Go, go, go. Move! Now. Alright, we're out.
I wouldn't want to be in there. And every time I watch something like that, I get a lump in my throat because I really feel for those guys. Some of them are volunteers. Some of them are career firefighters. Some of them are volunteers. And, you know, I don't know what we would do without them. The fires here are devastating. So, poor fire crews were absolutely tired, worn out. So that's definitely worth reading. And then this one here is from 2023, November 2023. Bushfire rages in northern suburbs with 10 homes and sheds lost. Now this wasn't far from me. Now I don't know if this is the same one. My friend across the road, her daughter's house was in a vicinity of a huge fire. Her daughter was actually overseas on holiday, her and her boyfriend, and her cousin was looking after the house. So we had, I got a message from Tess to say, can you come and help us move vehicles out of the property, off the property? So I went down with her, and the three of us drove the vehicles and brought them back here to our street. And I have got some video that Tess took to show how close we were to where the fire was. So I'll put those up here for you to see. And again, I'll put the link to this page so you can have a look at that if you wish. As you can see, the smoke behind the house, the flames are just at behind the trees at the end of the street. Very close. This is now the dash cam on our way to go to get the cars. I hope you found that video informative. And as I said, the links are in the description below for the different pages that you can go and do your own research on. So there's another section to the fires. It's called Controlled Burns. Now, there's quite a bit of information on that, which I thought would make this video far too long. And I need to get it up because I've only got another 45 minutes before my son comes to take me to the hospital for my cataract to be removed. So I'll do that another day when I'm able to sit at the computer for a period of time working one-eyed. Okay, but for now, remember this puzzle from the last video I did? Did you get it? I am under the weather. Hope you didn't find that one too difficult. And now for this week's, here it is. See how you go with this one. Anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my videos again. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Each time you interact with a video, it pushes it out there for more people to see. Have a great weekend. It is Thursday afternoon. Have a great weekend. It's coming up. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.